tó mọ̀ ńlá. Ó jẹ́ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o, ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́. Inú ẹni ṣálámọ̀, a ò mẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ni. Ká ṣe bí ẹni kú, káwọ́ ẹni tí ó ṣe dàrú ẹni. Ṣàṣà ènìyàn nífẹ̀ẹ́ ní lẹ́yìn, tẹrú tọmọ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ní lójú ẹni. Ọmọ aráyé abániwọ́rọ̀ pa òrí dání wọ́n. Ayé ò fẹ́ ní ìfọ̀rọ̀, orí ẹni ní pé kó yẹ ni. You gotta be strong cause the world is a battlefield. Òjò láyé ó gbé ní lọ, bá ò bá mọ̀ wẹ̀. Má ṣe làlà òtọ́ láì bá dé, stress of ìdákùn ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Ilé ayé ogun ni ó gbọ̀gbọ́n. Ẹ̀sùn pẹ̀lẹ́ láyé gbà rẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká má ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Tíbi tí ẹ làgálẹ̀ ayé, kò má ṣẹ̀dá tó mọ̀ ńlá. Ó jẹ́ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o, ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́. Inú ẹni ṣálámọ̀, a ò mẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ni. Ṣẹ̀rántí a ò mẹ́rin ìjọba ẹ̀wẹ̀kú ẹ̀wẹ̀lẹ̀. Àwọn ọlọ́tẹ̀ ni wọ́n dìde wọn lájànà kó lè rínú gbọ́gbé. Àṣenìtàn bá ní ìdàrú ṣálọ̀ máa ráyé. Àwọ̀ fẹ́lẹ́ bòónù kò jẹ́ àríkùn wá ṣe bí. You gotta be wise to survive and keep your sanity. Ọjà ọ̀dájú ní ilé ayé, o ní láti mọ̀ ọ́n rà. Àyàgbé ọ̀gẹ̀gẹ̀ tó bá ti lówó, ọ̀yàn òun ló wà lọ́jọ́ ogún dé. Ọwọ́ epo láyé ńlá, wọ́n kì í lá jẹ̀jẹ̀. Ara lámọ̀ á ò mọ́nú, ẹni ayé yẹ kó rọra ṣe. Ṣọ́ra, ṣọ́ra. Pọ́sọ̀ fura, pọ́sọ̀ fi jọ́ sí iná. Ẹ̀sùn pẹ̀lẹ́ láyé gbà rẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká má ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ o. Tíbi tí ẹ làgálẹ̀ ayé, kò má ṣẹ̀dá tó mọ̀ ńlá. Ó jẹ́ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o, ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́ o. Inú ẹni ṣálámọ̀, a ò mẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ni. Ẹ̀sùn pẹ̀lẹ́ láyé gbà rẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká má ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Tíbi tí ẹ làgálẹ̀ ayé, kò má ṣẹ̀dá tó mọ̀ ńlá. Ilẹ̀kùn bá jẹ́ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o, ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́. Inú ẹni ṣálámọ̀, a ò mẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ni. Ẹ̀sùn pẹ̀lẹ́ láyé gbà rẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká má ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi ṣòwò tí a làgálẹ̀ ayé, àgbàdo ti ti tó mọ̀ ńlá yòókù lọ́gbọ́n. Ó jẹ́ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o, ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́. Inú ẹni ṣálámọ̀, a ò mẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ni. Ẹ̀sùn pẹ̀lẹ́ láyé gbà rẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká má ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Ikú pàlà sí ọ̀rọ̀ ní ọ̀lọ́lọ́gbà ògiri. Àmọ̀lẹ́ tó wọ́n ti fi gbogbo ìbàjọ́ra ìmọ́lẹ̀. Ó jẹ́ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o, ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́.
Yes, so good evening, my people. It's a pleasure to welcome you to another special edition of the Jagbajanti Show. I remain your regular host, Akin. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, wherever you are connecting from. You are special, and this is the platform where we talk nonsense. Tonight we are going to have another interesting discussion. We're going to look at something a bit sensitive, controversial, something that, um, divisive. But I hope by the time we conclude tonight's discussion, we will all be seeing maybe from the same perspective. Um, so please, as you're coming in, kindly invite somebody to connect to the show. Send out the links, share it on your platforms, on your profile. Just, do whatever is within your reach and whatever is convenient for you to bring this to the attention of at least one person. You have played your part by doing that. So, my people on YouTube, I greet you specially. Usually, I'll have Shoops, Mr. Smash the Love Button, and Yawo Lowo Shibi Mimi Fine Wine in that corner. And I hope they are there already. Already, I know Shupo is there. And I hope my sister is there as well, because sometimes she's busy. But she's there in the background listening. So I welcome you guys. Those on Twitter and my rugged fellows on Facebook. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the show again. Mukinyo Nanaboli, thank you very much for joining tonight. Yeah, Erin Mobawole. I made it at the last minute. Our train was a bit delayed, but eventually I made it. My brother, the preacher's son, thank you for joining tonight. Thank you for your constant support. And you've joined the YouTube Posh Brethren, even though you're a very rugged human being. But I hope you will not go and rub off on them badly in that corner. So maybe you should come to the rugged platform and leave that place for the posh people. But I'll pardon you for tonight. Nobody will complain. Toronto one ben no fariwo rara. But nobody complain. I'm getting you out of there. Right. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n wo ta ló kọ́kọ́ wọlé náà. Right. The first person on the show tonight is no other person than Ebunwolua Falui. She has made that spot her own, And as usual, she will be moved, carried, ferried, stretched to the VIP corner where they will use enjoyment to finish her off. Yes. My fluffy sister, try again next week. Oku díẹ̀. Mo rí pé time kan náà lẹ́jọ́ dé, but ẹni tó kọ́ fi àyà lu téèpù nìyẹn. So try again next week. Right. My brother Ifani Ifagbemi, I welcome you. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. Who else do I have here? Papa, my brother Ayodele Onoselu. It's a pleasure to have you on the show as well. Àwọn olúwayé Baltimore nìyẹn. Wọ́n jayé kú dànù. Thank you very much for joining me. And also I welcome my brother Emmanuel Goshen. He's a writer. He's a public speaker. I've known him for a very long time. And I used to call him Lagbayi. He's a very stubborn human being. Very stubborn human being. But I I cherish his stubbornness, you know, and also his insight. He's a man that is always in thirst of knowledge. He's an author. He has written several books and is constantly pushing himself to become the best as than he can. I welcome you, Mr. Emmanuel Goshen, Mr. Lagbayi, Lagbayi kan London kan. Ọlọ́run. I can dedicate a whole show for him alone. Oh, èèyàn lẹ́rìí yẹn. Thank you for being part of tonight's show. Yes, I think that is all I have on the platform at the moment. If you're watching and you want me to give you a shout out, kindly just, signify your presence. Let me know you are here. Signal clear dáadáa lálẹ́ yìí, so mi ò rẹ́yìn tẹ wà ńbẹ̀ yẹn. Elijah. Ẹ̀gbọ́n ó pẹ́ yín o. Ṣé wà dáadáa mo tiẹ̀ ti rò pé wà ni. Thank you for joining tonight. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the platform. Ẹ léètì gan, eléyìí kọjá kíni. Àwọn èèyàn ti jókòó, wọ́n tiẹ̀ ti ń ṣe fàájì, wọ́n ti ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀. But àti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀, so a ṣì wà ní hello. Right. Let's get straight into the show so we can make the maximum use of the time we have. Right. I don't even know where to start. But the discussion I have for us tonight is what I titled DNA request. Is it wrong or is it only offensive? So, you all know what a DNA is. I don't need to go into it. But briefly, it is a, scientific option or scientific means of determining maybe the paternity of a child, or maybe you want to trace or explore someone's ancestral origins. It's a means by which you can get this. So it's an advancement in science which has made it possible for people to through the provision of certain samples of their body, they can use it to match or trace someone's ancestral origin, or they can use it to test whether two people are blood related. So, for example, you want to know if somebody is truly your father, you will submit some of your own sample, and the other person will do the same, and then they subject it to this test, and it will be proven whether there's a match or not. Right. So, but there's a problem. The problem is when a man requests for a DNA test, oftentimes the women get angry, they get defensive. Um, you have some family members asking why. You know, even you have friends and people on the side of a man that is demanding for it. Asking him, "Oh, maybe you shouldn't bother," and things like that. Um, I don't just want to approach it in a manner such that I say yes is right and no is wrong. And that's why I put that question out to everyone. Is it wrong or is it just offensive? They're two different things. When something is wrong, it means that it runs contrarily to maybe what is legal, what is moral, what you can justify, what is rational. But when it's simply offensive, it shows that it's just a bit maybe touchy. It just it rubs off on some people badly. So I want us to delve into it, not just by answering that question as yes or no, because if I put that out as a poll, we would have people who will say yes it's wrong. We have people who say yes it's right. We have people who say it's offensive. So I don't. I want us to uncover or remove one by one all the layers that um, that builds up to this particular discussion, because it's really a complex issue. And the way I want us to discuss this is from the point of understanding, not to just dump an opinion on you. So by the time we go through all that is involved, you will be able to make up your mind. Perhaps if you are the type that think, oh, it's not necessary, maybe you would change your mind. And maybe if you are the type that has been made to feel bad for making such a request, maybe you can feel okay, justified that you've not done, anything wrong. Um, this question alone, I want a DNA. It's a question that is layered with all kinds of feelings. It's a question that is layered with all kinds of arguments. But the most important one that sticks out of everything is that such a question raises the discussion of lack of trust. So when a man requests for a DNA test, the first thing that comes to the mind of everybody around, and including you know, the woman involved, is that this person he's accusing this other person of infidelity. The request for DNA is assumed to mean that yes, you're accusing your partner of cheating, which simply implies a lack of trust. But is this true? Is this all that is all about requesting for a DNA? Now, it is not wrong to request for a DNA, but it can come across as offensive. Requesting for a DNA does not, except in a case where, you know, you have actually maybe caught the person in the act, or you have actually seen certain things that suggest that you need to check things up. But requesting for a DNA simply does not mean you are querying, you know, your partner's fidelity. You know, it doesn't mean you don't trust the person. It doesn't mean, you know, you're accusing the person of cheating. It's simply I mean, it can mean different things. I'm choosing my words carefully tonight because it's it's um it's a complex terrain to navigate, but I want to strip every layer that is involved so that you yourself, you listeners tonight, will be the one to make up your mind. Now, raising children is not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy. It demands significant investment of time from you, money, finance, emotions, and what else? You have to pour yourself into raising a child. Now, when you understand all that you need to give, when you understand, the money that you will need to spend, the time that you will need to give up, because when you want to raise a healthy child. So when I mean healthy, I'm not talking of, the medical condition of the child. Now I'm talking of raising a child that will be well balanced. That won't be a problem or a menace to the society. And somebody that will be that will grow up to become, you know, a useful adult. Then it involves you suspending your own ambition and career in life. Literally, you have to die or be stagnant for that child to survive. So, knowing what it requires to raise a child, it is not too much to want to be really sure that this child that you will pour all you have into is actually your own child. So looking at it from that perspective, asking for a DNA, it's not you suspecting your partner of cheating. You actually want to know. You actually are seeking assurance so that all I'm doing won't be a waste. People who already have kids will understand what I'm talking about. And they will be able to get the picture I'm trying to paint of how crushing it can be after you have, you know, poured your all into a child only to be told that the child does not belong to you. So that means you have been raising someone else's child. Okay, it's not a problem. Not at all. To raise somebody else's child is not a problem. It's not a problem if you know in advance. And what are the situations that can, bring that up? So if you maybe get married to a partner who is coming from a previous relationship and she's bringing her kids from that relationship into the new one you are just starting. So when you accept to, date or marry that person, she must have made full disclosure to you. So you are aware that she's got kids from a previous relationship and you are ready to, take all the fatherly role, fatherly responsibility on those children. This one, this one, you are aware. Another situation where you might, raise someone else's child, which won't be a problem, is when you adopt a child or you take up the responsibility of even if it's not through legal adoption. You take somebody and say, you know what, I'll train this child for you. You are aware, and this decision is yours. You decided to do this with full awareness that, okay, we are not related by blood, but I will play the role of a father in the life of this person. Those situations, those scenarios are perfect. Easy to relate with, easy to handle. But when it comes to paternity fraud, this is where someone else's child is given to you as yours without your knowledge, and you begin to take, parental responsibility on that child, spending your time, spending your money, going back and forth, suspending your own life so that child could survive, only for you at a point in your life to realize or to be told that the child isn't yours. I want you to put yourself in that situation. Let's do a role play now. So just put yourself in that situation. How would you feel? I've heard the story of a man in America, I think at the age of 65 or thereabout. That was when he realized that the only child they have together in that relationship, maybe at 23 or thereabout, he only just found out that the son doesn't belong to him. He shot the wife straight away. Because at that age, báwo ló ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀? If such situation is not handled carefully, òkú tó máa bọ́ lọ́hùn lé àpọ̀, ó máa pọ̀ gan. And you see this sort of scenario or situation is becoming rampant these days, where out of 4 children in a family, the husband would discover at some, after some 15, 17 years in marriage or 20 years that only the last born is his own, or even the third born. So that means first one kì í ṣe tiẹ̀, second one kì í ṣe tiẹ̀, third one ní tiẹ̀, fourth one kì í ṣe tiẹ̀. I mean, ó wà messy gan. Ó wà messy. And that's why when a request for a DNA is made, we shouldn't just base everything on, so trust me. Trust ìyàwó ẹ̀. Ṣó ń cheat ni. That is not all that this is all about. When we base it on that, then we are creating a kind of stigma around this issue. We put up all kind of defense. We look at it as if it's a taboo. Ẹ má lọ bẹ̀ rárá, ẹ má lọ bẹ̀ rárá. No, a máa lọ bẹ̀. Remember, ìgbà kan ní SS pọ̀ nínú family káàkiri. until the awareness was made that people should be checking their blood group before a genotype before they get married. So tí AS àti AS bá ti fẹ́ra wọn, probability wà wípé ẹ máa ní SS. Àwọn ọmọ tẹ́dẹ̀ bí yẹn, ìnira àti ìpọ́njú àti ìrora ló máa fi lo ayé, ẹ̀yin gan ò ní nísinmi. So it's better to avoid it. Since táwọn èèyàn ti come to the awareness of that, particular situation, ẹ rí i pé ó ti dínkù. Mi sọ pé kò sí o, ó ṣì wà. But the rate has drastically reduced. Because after I love you, I do this, I ṣe nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, the next thing you check. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni kí lẹ jẹ? But tó o bá ti mọ̀ pé èní ẹ̀ ò ní bọ́dà, ní tó bá wù kó máa gbé bọ̀, ó wà okay. But tó bá ti mọ̀ pé ẹ̀sìn ni ẹ̀, gbogbo ẹni tó bá pàdé òun láti check. Ìgbà yẹn náà, wọ́n á lo religion, wọ́n á lo cultural oríṣiríṣi nǹkan, wọ́n á lo oríṣiríṣi nǹkan láti fi dissuade yín láti má ṣe pé Ọlọ́run ló ń ṣe kinní kan. Ẹ má máa fi nǹkan kọ́ Ọlọ́run lọ́rùn. God has given us the ability, He has given us the power, He has given us the freedom to rule our own world. Òun náà lo olórísun gbogbo ìmọ̀ yìí. So where technology and science or scientific innovation comes up to help us to make our life better, we must embrace these solutions. We shouldn't, be rigid and máa wá kọ́nà káàkiri máa. So, seeking assurance before you embark on, pouring your resources on a child, it's not a bad decision to make. From that perspective, it is not a wrong question to ask. Seeking to know if you have biological connection with the child, and the assurance you get from such search will even help you to go far and beyond for that child. So all I'm doing is I'm removing all these layers of layer that has made this DNA issue to be a taboo discussion, to be something that must not be mentioned among us. I want to be removing those layers. And while we remove one layer, we replace it with something that will open your mind to make you see that, yes, can it make sense in total? Can it make sense? Kò sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ṣàṣedànù náà. So imagine everything you worked for in your life. Tó dẹ̀ rò pé ìtàn pè lákọ̀bí ẹ̀ yẹn òun ló rò pákọ̀bí. Ṣùgbọ́n last born nìkan tiẹ̀. Ó ṣe wíìlì sìn gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ní kán gbé fákọ̀bí. Tó bá yá ẹni tó lọ máa wá claim ọmọ. Gbogbo ohun tó ti gbé fún yóò máa gbé lọ. okay, tí irú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ bá come up, yeah, those ones tó jẹ́ titi ẹ̀ wọ́n lè wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjà, wọ́n á lọ legal, ogun á bẹ̀rẹ̀. Because of what? Because of deceit. Because of lies tó ti wà ní foundation. Tó bá jẹ́ pé gbogbo kìíní ti clear láti ilẹ̀, there are situations where èèyàn mọ̀ pé yes, ẹni yìí ó step out ó dẹ̀ lọ gbé kìíní wá, tí wọ́n máa ń gbà náà, wọ́n á dẹ̀ fi ṣe nǹkan àṣírí láàrin gbogbo wọn, kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó máa mọ anything. Tó bá dẹ̀ sì wù ẹ́ kó sì fi ìyẹn náà fi ṣàkọ́bí, kó ṣàkọ́bí bẹ́ẹ̀, wàá fi ṣe. But it's different to when, you're being deceived. Tí wọ́n gbé ẹ́ múgùn, tí wọ́n gbé ẹ́ ń gàn. So there's nothing wrong in being curious. But I like to balance things. In your curiosity, in you seeking, assurance, you must do this with respect, such that you explain yourself, just as I've done, to eliminate, any lingering doubt, or how your request might be twisted to mean that you're accusing your partner of infidelity. So when you are making such a request, you must base it on something, why you need it. And you must ensure that the tone of this request is a positive one. Positive in such that you emphasize, the advantages or the positives in taking such a step. So, for example, tó bá ti mọ̀ pé ọmọ wa lọ́mọ ẹ̀, it only makes your family a stronger unit, because all doubt has been eliminated. And a family that is, strong, that has a very strong foundation, that is tight together, tí ò sí ẹni etí ọmọ ẹ ṣe wá rí báyìí, èmi ò nírú etí yẹn náà, grandpa ò nírú etí yẹn náà, tí gbogbo àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ò máa cross ẹ nínú lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan, àbí kọ́mọ ẹ ń ṣìwà owó tó ń pa irú wàá wèrè wo lọ́mọ ẹ̀ ń wù yìí, ṣé nǹkan mo tiẹ̀ lọ́mọ ẹ̀ ṣá, níbo náà ti rú ọmọ àdánù báyìí, o ò sọ síta ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo àwọn kan náà máa wá sí ẹ lọ́kàn. Wọ́n bá wá béèrè pé àwọn ní kinní kan ń pọ́n máa nìkan wá ní skul, kinní wá ní skul wèrè wo ni wọ́n ní kán wá, ó ráyè jàre, àkúmọ̀ báyà la lọ́mọ gan, àkúmọ̀ báyà kinní ẹ̀ wá lè tí ẹ̀ ṣe wá rí báyìí. Gbogbo yẹn will be removed. Gbogbo yẹn máa kúrò lọ́kàn ẹ̀. Wàá dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe, ẹ̀jẹ̀ ẹ ló ń ṣe fún. The trust is there, and you guys are stronger together. When you approach this request from this perspective, you are removing doubt. You're not, indirectly pointing, an accusing finger on the partner, and you are not saying you doubt you know, you have trust issues or anything like that. This is to build a stronger family together. And the request is made out of respect. You open it with, you know, a dialogue, making the other person see reason. You highlight the positives in that step rather than oh mo fẹ́ dí ẹni tó bá béèrè why wèrè wo ló ń bi mí gangan ó ṣe máa bi mí why ṣé mi ò lè béèrè díẹ̀ ni ó ti ó ti ó ti ó ti yẹn ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní offensive undertones and tí conversation yẹn bá ti gbarú ọ̀nà bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn then it will be twisted. This is where it becomes offensive because irú wọ́n béèrè why lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ nǹkan tó dáhùn padà yẹn ó ti ń raise the suspicion of infidelity. Then ẹni a máa ní ẹ ò trust mi ni ṣé mo ṣe ìṣekúṣe ni ṣé ìran wọ̀wọ́ náà máa ní ṣé mo accuse ẹ fún ìṣekúṣe ni tó bá yẹ pé ò ní nǹkan kan tó ṣe ṣé yẹ kó máa bi mí why ẹ̀rín pé ó ti ń di rough ó ti ń di rough so kò yẹ kẹ́ ẹ gbé lọ sí angle yẹn. What you need to do is to just, express yourself, highlight the positives in why you think such a step should be taken. Convince them that, well, I trust you. Doubt them, anything like that. But I just want us to be strong together. I want us to be one unit, and so that we have the right mindset. Personally, I think it will be better for people who are still single to include this in their discussions during courtship. Especially the man should take the lead. If you would want, DNA of your child or children, mention it nígbà tẹ́ ẹ ti ń court pé a bá bímọ o gbogbo ọmọ ni mo máa ṣe DNA wọn o. You can gauge our response or bí o tiẹ̀ fún ẹ response you can gauge our reaction. Tó bá dẹ̀ béèrè pé kí ló dé ṣé o trust òun ọ̀rọ̀ trust kọ́ lélẹ̀. You give your reasons. Tó bá ti lóun ò fara mọ́, that could be, the end of the relationship for you. It could be a breaking point because lọ́kàn tí o lè máa wá pé kí ló dé tó bá ilé ò yẹ kó le nà ọkàn mi ò pí ọ̀sọ́mọ yìí ó ká pàdé máa lọ́nlọ́ ẹ̀. Tó bá rìn gẹ̀rẹ̀gẹ̀rẹ̀ wàá rí obìnrin tó yẹ pé kò mind á sọ fún ẹ pé yeah that's fine let's do it. Òun náà tó bọ́ náà wàá rìn gẹ̀rẹ̀gẹ̀rẹ̀ á pàdé ẹni tó yẹ pé òun náà ò kíá kò ní béèrè irú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. So you guys need to straighten so many things out before you get into the relationship. For you to have a successful relationship, you need to build it perfectly. There must be a bond of trust that ẹ máa form. A níbi tẹ́ ẹ ti máa dì sí tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ yín á yéra yín. Kò ní dáàrin kan kó wá máa di rough. Now, there are situations jẹ́ pé èèyàn máa ká partner èèyàn mọ́dí àwọn nǹkan kan. Ó lè jẹ́ text messages lèèyàn rí, ó lè jẹ́ ìrìn ẹ̀ ò kàn pure àbáwọn nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. That could also raise, the question within the mind of the man to say, you know what, àwọn ọmọ yìí mú láti mọ̀ báyìí mo ni wọ́n. So, and when you step up to make such a request, you have to be honest and say, you know what, this and this and this and this are the reasons why I just want to clarify this issue. I just want to check. Mo rí nǹkan báyìí, mo gbọ́ nǹkan báyìí. Present the facts. I'm not accusing you of anything yet o. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ ká mú láti bí iná. Tá bá tiẹ̀ ti kọ́kọ́ yọ àwọn ilé kúrò, tá bá ti mọ̀ pé lè clear, then going forward, a máa mọ nǹkan tí a máa ṣe sí nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí. And if it's a partner that hasn't done anything dodgy, if it's a partner that, that is clean, they will be willing to undergo the test. They'll be committed because they know that they have nothing to hide. They will willingly embrace it because she's confident that she hasn't done anything untoward. Tó bá dẹ̀ wá ṣe tán, ó lè wá bring issue ẹ̀ up pé ẹ̀sùn tó fi kàn mí o lórí nǹkan báyìí dídídídídídí. And then you now have to find a way to mitigate whatever potential, friction that might cause. You now have to, reconvince her that look, mi ò fẹ́ ní doubt lórí ẹ̀ ni mo ṣe ní ká clarify lè. Ìwọ náà fọ̀rọ̀ wòra ẹ̀ wò tó bá rí irú àwọn nǹkan báyìí. I mean, it's sensible to ask questions. And, I really cherish your transparency. I cherish, in fact, mo respect ẹ gan more nísìn. And this will even make our relationship to even be stronger. So má gbà sí ìbínú pé báyà mo reason tí mo fi béèrè rẹ̀. Because I just need to be sure. And once we've gotten that out of the way, no problem. Gbogbo eléyìí ẹ lè sọ láàrin ẹ̀yin méjèèjì. You don't have to first of all go and meet his mommy and his daddy. Her mommy or her daddy pé kò sí ní tó kan third party nínú nǹkan tá à ń sọ yìí, àárín ẹ̀yin méjèèjì ló wà. You need to be able to have that discussion. You need to be able to have that dialogue. You need to be straight to yourselves. You need to be open. You need to be transparent. You need to be authentic. You can't lie to yourself. And you don't need anybody's permission. And about that, no, my child will not do that. No. Rubbish in Tazuma. Ó nídìí wọn láti fún ẹ ní láti gba permission lọ́wọ́ wọn kó tó ẹ̀yin méjèèjì lè máa jókòó tẹ́ máa sọ. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní bí etí ò bá gbọ́yìn kì inú ìbàjẹ́. Nǹkan tó rí, nǹkan tó gbọ́ òun ló ṣèkì ẹ pé you know what, then check àwọn kìíní. And there's nothing bad in it. Once you can communicate this to your partner, and if she has nothing to hide, if she hasn't done anything untoward, she will willingly submit herself to undergo the test. In another situation where ó mọ̀ pé bó ṣe pàdé ẹni yẹn gan rough, ó dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ìwọ nìkan kọ́ ló ń bá sùn, so ó wá pè ẹ́, ó wá lóun lóyún. You have every right láti sọ pé okay, no problem, kí n tó gbà á o gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ mi o, a máa ṣe test. We do a test. Tó bá ti ní òun ò ṣe test, ó máa ṣòro kò kàn tó lè wá dọ́ǹpù ọmọ sí mi lọ́wọ́. Yes, mo bá ẹ sùn, but mo mọ̀ pé èmi nìkan kọ́ ló ń bá sùn. So báyọ̀ ti lọ bá Fẹ́mi tí Fẹ́mi ti lé ẹ dànù kó tó wá bá èmi pé bá èmi á gbà. Fẹ́mi ò tiẹ̀ sọ pé òun fẹ́ ṣe DNA rárá, ó kàn lé ẹ dànù ni. Okay, but in this case, èmi ò lé ẹ dànù, but I need to confirm. So in that situation, the request is not wrong to make. And you are also communicating the reason why you are asking for that request. If the lady is so sure pé wọ́n ló ní, á submit ara ẹ̀ náà. Ó yá já lọ ṣe. Bàbá tí ń sọ pé òun láti gbà ni o, mo fọlọ́run ṣẹlẹ́rìí, mo ṣe gbogbo tá à ń fọlọ́run ṣẹlẹ́rìí, Ọlọ́run tẹ́ẹ̀rí rí. Ọlọ́run ti fira ẹ̀ hàn nínú sáyẹ́ǹsì DNA sìn. Ọlọ́run náà rèé o. Bàbá ń gbọ́ arínúròjò olùmọ̀ràn kan, ó rèé o. Because God will duplicate himself into several forms for us. Appearance ẹ̀ kan náà rèé. Without this technological advancement or scientific advancement rather, we would not know. So Ọlọ́run ló fira ẹ̀ hàn yìí. So tó bá ń sọ pé o fọlọ́run ṣẹlẹ́rìí, Ọlọ́run gangan ló fẹ́ prove ara ẹ̀ yìí. Àdúrà ò ní fi anything hàn o. Ẹja lọ́dọ̀ pásítọ̀ mi kan pray. Wọ́n máa to mọ̀rìwọ̀ pẹ́lẹ̀, wọ́n á to ìgbálẹ̀ kalẹ̀, wọ́n á ní kẹ́ máa dá kọjá. Gbogbo yẹn rubbish gbogbo nǹkan yẹn. Let science proof ó máa match. A sọ fún yín 99.9% you are related or you are not related. Tó bá ti gba result yẹn, ó yá gbẹ́rù ẹ̀ lọ wá bàbá ọmọ. And as I always say, obìnrin ló mọ ẹni tó lọ́mọ o. Ìgbàgbọ́ làwọn ọkùnrin fi ń gbà o. So ẹni tí gbàgbọ́ ò bá wá gbé, there is nothing wrong in asking for a DNA request or in making a DNA request. Ẹlòmíì ti fìgbàgbọ́ gbà á, ó dẹ̀ gbójú ẹ̀ ń bẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n ìgbàgbọ́ ẹlòmíì ò gbé. No, á lóun fẹ́ find out kíní. So to avoid all this gbogbo argument, gbogbo wàhálà, gbogbo kíní yìí, personally, I would suggest that DNA should be compulsory and free at the hospital after childbirth. Tó bá bímọ tán, immediately náà máa ṣe genotype ọmọ. Wọ́n máa ṣe gbogbo test fún ọmọ yẹn láti rí pé o kò ní àwọn àrùn kankan or whatever thing like that. Wọ́n á ṣe HIV test fún náà. Wọ́n á ṣe fún ìyá ọmọ náà. You know? So if they can conduct all these tests, even àti ráwọn churches gan tó jẹ́ pé kẹ́ tó wá ṣe marriage sí wọ́n máa ní kẹ́ mú, wọ́n ti kọ àwọn list of tests ẹ̀ láti lọ ṣe kẹ́ mú wá fún wọn, because wàhálà fẹ́ pa àwọn pastor yẹn lẹ́yìn tán bá marry tán. Àtọ́ bá marry tán lọ́ máa rí pé okó brother Jude ò ṣiṣẹ́, wọ́n kàn fèdè fọ̀ lásán ni. Okay, wọ́n ti parí wedding sí, ó yá brother Jude kẹ́ wá ju nǹkan lẹ̀. Irọ́ o. Ṣùgbọ́n tí gbogbo wàhálà yẹn ń pọ̀, àwọn church dàbí ọgbọ́n. They will give you a list of, tests to carry out and bring the result before they can, sọ bóyá ẹ lọ marry. So why can't we include the DNA test after childbirth? Do you even know that wọ́n máa ń pààrọ̀ ọmọ lọ hospital? Because ọmọ tí madam gbé wálé kò bẹ́lòmíì sùn, ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ti pààrọ̀ ọmọ mọ́ lọ́wọ́ ni. We've heard stories of nurses who work for, rich people tí ó yẹ pé wọ́n ń wá ọmọ, and then báyọ̀ ń wọ́kùnrin, obìnrin lọ́ṣà ń bí, and then wọ́n á sọ fún un pé àtẹ̀bá ti rẹ̀ ń tó bí ọkùnrin ẹ̀jọ̀ ẹ bá wa yí wọn kàn mẹ́ẹ̀. Nígbà tí ìyá dẹ̀ sùn gbogbo nǹkan kan mẹ́ẹ̀, wọ́n á pààrọ̀ ọmọ ẹ̀ mọ́ lọ́wọ́. Àwọn tó fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ bí ẹ wọ́n ti mọ gbogbo nǹkan tó máa ṣe. And this is easy because ẹlòmíì ò kì í yẹ sex ọmọ wò kan tó bí. Wọ́n kàn ń pé tó bá dìgbà tá a bá máa bímọ a kàn máa ọmọ tá a fẹ́ bí. Irú àwa ẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ àwa yẹ everything wò kó tẹ̀ tó rí ń pa bímọ. A ti ṣe before. So òun máa bí ọkùnrin tán yàn ká wá pààrọ̀ ẹ̀ agbóbìnrin sí ìyàwó mi lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́, kò ní wọ́ọ̀kì nígbà tá a ti mọ ọmọ tá à ń retí gan. So wọ́n bá pààrọ̀ ọmọ mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́ ní hospital, DNA will reveal it. Ní pé something is wrong o. Ọmọ ṣinkó lẹ̀ ń gbé lọ yìí o. Ọmọ ṣinkó lẹ̀ ń gbé lẹ̀ jẹ́ ṣinkó ló wà lára eléyìí o. Brother kinní kan ṣe tó bá ti ń bi ẹ́ question pé is your great grandmother from China? Wọ́n á sọ pé no. What about anybody from your father's side from China? A máa ní no, China báwo? Dé China rí. ọmọ mọ̀ pé nǹkan kan ti happen nìyẹn o, ẹ̀jẹ̀ ti dàrú o, ọmọ ti dàpọ̀ wọ́ọ̀dù o. So in further removal of these layers, I want us to look at all the players involved when it comes to paternity disputes. There are players involved. And when we look at how each of these players is affected, we would also see reasons why DNA request is not wrong. Where, as a matter of fact, we should embrace this this science. Right. Let us say we have daddy one. So daddy one is the biological father. Then we have daddy two. Daddy two, òun ni wọ́n kẹ́ ọmọ sí lọ́wọ́. Daddy Kẹ́mi, òun ni wọ́n gbé ọmọ ọba tán gbé fún. Then we have mommy yo. Àwọn ni wọ́n lọ ń sọ̀rọ̀ irun wájú pọ̀ mọ́ tìpàkọ́. Àwọn ló mú òótọ́ ṣùgbọ́n àní wọ́n ń da gbogbo nǹkan rú o. Then we have the child. These are 4 players within paternity dispute. And each of these 4 players are affected to varying degrees in whatever happens. Ẹ jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ from daddy 2. As I said earlier, daddy 2 is pouring himself into a child tí kìí ṣe tiẹ̀. Ó náwó, ó nọ́ra, ó ná time. Owó tó yẹ kó ná fúnra ẹ̀ á ná lórí ọmọ yẹn. Career tó yẹ kó embark on, àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ kó advance ara ẹ̀, àwọn pé no, tí n bá lọ ṣe wọ́n máa fẹ́ family yìí. Ó deny ara of so many things. Ọjọ́ ń gorí ọjọ́, ó ń dàgbà and losing out of life because he's trying to raise a child. Only for him at a later date kó realize pé òun kọ́ ló ń lọ́mọ. Now, àṣedànù nìyẹn. Kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ àṣedànù. In that situation, we see some men tó máa yarí wípé irọ́, òun lè gbọ́mọ yẹn lẹ̀, òun ní ṣe bákan, òun ní ṣàwọn kankan mẹ́. No. And máa rẹ́ lòmíì tó yẹ pé ńgbà tí daddy one step up fún pòun ló ń lọ́mọ, tí DNA dẹ̀ tó confirm ẹ̀, daddy two á máa bá daddy one jà. No. Daddy two has nothing to do with daddy one. No, absolutely nothing. And daddy two has no right, after DNA has confirmed pé òun kọ́ ló ń lọ́mọ, he has no right láti sọ pé òun ò ní gbọ́mọ lẹ̀. Ó gbọ́dọ̀ yọ̀ǹda ọmọ ni. Tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ tó wà below legal age, ó gbọ́dọ̀ yọ̀ǹda ọmọ yẹn. Tó bá jẹ́ àgbàlagbà, ọmọ tó ti wọ legal age, tó dé year age of consent, then ọmọ yẹn lè decide fúnra rẹ̀ wípé ẹni tó tọ́ òun di age yìí o lòun fẹ́ recognize as bàbá tòun. This man hasn't been there for me. He hasn't showed up. He can't just turn up now and say he's my father. Yes, he might be my father by blood, but this is the person that has given his life for me. Yes, ọmọ yẹn lè make irú decision bẹ́ẹ̀. But other than that, òun láti yọ̀ǹda ọmọ ni. Now, how do you now how do you find closure in this situation? Number one, you can take consolation in the fact that you have nurtured a life. You have, created a solution for the world. Because tó bá tọ́ ọmọ yẹn dáadáa, àṣeyọrí kan ló ṣe yẹn. Ọmọ yẹn á wúlò fún society. So ó ṣàṣedànù in the long run tó bá wò from that perspective. I know it's not easy, but you have to find a closure somehow. But this might not be sufficient closure for some people. So people might actually want some form of compensation for all that they have, expended on raising the child. So in this case, what you can do is maybe seek the advice of a lawyer. Kàn bẹ́ẹ̀ wò tí any legal grounds bá wà fún ẹ láti recover gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó ná. Tán bá ló wà, ilé ẹjọ́ is all about proof. Tẹ́rìí bá ti wà, wọ́n máa wá bọ́n ṣe máa sọ pé kán dá nǹkan padà fún ẹ. Receipt rèé, mo ra uniform, owó school rèé mo san, iye báyìí ni mo ń filẹ̀ fowó oúnjẹ. If you want, you can put all those things together. Òfin máa wá decide ẹni tó máa wà responsible fún yẹn. Bàbá ọmọ náà ni. Okay o, alágbàtọ́ ọmọ yẹn láti ìjọ́ tó ti yọjú o, ó ní òun fẹ́ claim gbogbo owó tó ń ná padà. And these are the proof. Ilé ẹjọ́ dẹ̀ tún sọ pé wọ́n tún lè sọ pé àwọn tó ń fi iye interest báyìí lé owó yẹn. I'm not a legal person, so I don't know if this kind of option exists. Legally, so I don't know. But if you are seeking closure and you are seeking a form of, compensation, then you can explore this means and see if o lè rí owó gbà padà so that yẹ ò ní gbé pátápátá. And then you can now decide what you want to do with the woman who deceived you for all those years, knowing the truth, but allowing you to be wasting your years, your time, your money, your emotion, your energy, everything. If you still think you want to be with such a woman, good luck to you. But I know for a lot of people, that is the end. Because wọ́n lóbìnrin tó ń yàlè bí ò parẹ́ á pọkọ. How do you still stay with such a woman? How do you still sleep beside her at night? How do you still eat her food? So personally, I just feel from that moment, trust is out of the window. Tí o bá dẹ̀ ti sí trust in relationship mọ́, pílà tó gbé relationship dúró nìyẹn náà. Ó ti wó, ó ká kù lọ́ ń lọ ẹni. Now, let's look at Daddy One. Daddy One tí wọ́n gbé ọmọ ẹ̀ lọ fẹ́ lòmíì. Òun náà ń suffer because ẹ̀jẹ̀ ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀ ni wọ́n gbé lọ síbì kan yẹn. Even though kò wà aware, à ń yàn jẹ. And then we've had situations where nǹkan kan á pọ̀n ṣọmọ yẹn, they will need maybe blood donation or something, then wọ́n á kí dáàdi ẹ̀ yọjú. Ìgbà tí dáàdi two bá wá yọjú, wọ́n á sọ pé ẹ̀jẹ̀ ò match. Sometimes ibẹ̀ ni àwọn issue yẹn ti máa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀. They will now say go and look for Daddy One. Daddy One will now show up. But Daddy One hasn't been in the life of the child. Títí tọ́mọ fi pé bá bí 10. Wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa sọ fọ́mọ yẹn pé this is your daddy. Kò lè yé, kò lè understand. Kò sí bonding kankan. That child technically is lost. By blood ló fi jẹ́ ọmọ ẹ̀, but by relationship kò sí. Now, we have another version of Daddy One tó jẹ́ wípé ó wà aware ń pòun lọ́mọ, ṣùgbọ́n irresponsible Daddy One. Ó kọ ìyá ọmọ àtọmọ ni wọ́n ṣe gbé ọmọ lọ fún ẹlòmíì. Or in another case, ó kọ oyún àtẹni tó lóyún. Ìyẹn fi hàn gbé oyún yẹn ló fi tì mọ́ ẹlòmíì lọ́rùn. Yes, this is bad. And the woman have every right to feel bad and wants to punish the man. But lábẹ́ bó ti wù kó rí, you must, at the back of your mind, leave the room open, leave the door open for this man to come back to his senses at some point or at some later time in life, and wants to come back, to reconcile his ways. Ó gbọ́dọ̀ tilẹ̀kùn yẹn, because whether you like it or not, kò sẹ́lòmíì tó lè jẹ́ bàbá ọmọ yẹn ju ẹni yẹn lọ. Kò sí. So téèyàn bá ń bínú, èèyàn ò ní bínú tán. Èèyàn ò ní bínú tán. Wàá bínú ṣẹ́kù. Sometimes, let me talk to some àwọn irresponsible men ní ẹ̀sìn, àwọn tó ń pè ní abímọmáwò. Nígbà tó ń da lẹ́dà bolẹ̀ fún Sisi yẹn, tó ń kòbó hi, tó ń pariwo, tó ń sọ fún pé who is your daddy, tó ń sọ pé wọ́n ni, tó ń sọ pé shout my name, tó ń pariwo ẹ̀, tó ń ṣe họ hi. Ìgbà yẹn ó lo protection because nigger raw ni ẹ raw nigger. Withdrawal ẹ gan ó tún poor. So at the end of the day ó rọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ dà sí ni. Nà ó rọ́ dà síbẹ̀ tán. Kí ló rò wípé outcome ẹ̀ máa jẹ́? Do you think she will give back to a plasma TV? No, ọmọ ló máa bí. Ìgbà yẹn ni wọ́n wá gbé wá wá máa sọ pé ṣé ẹ̀kan ń doyún ni? Uncle ẹ ti mad. Ìgbà yẹn ló máa wá tí wàá máa sọ pé you no come, I no come. Níbo lóyún ti wá wá? Ìgbà yẹn wàá máa sọ wípé èmi ò ready o, mi plan fẹ́lẹ̀. O plan fún but ó ń dáná bolẹ̀ bẹ́yẹn, ó dẹ̀ ń dà bolẹ̀ ní gàrọ́. Okay. So for this irresponsible woman, when things like that happen, agídí ni wọ́n máa ń ní because emotionally they're not ready for a child. Financially àwọn gan ò tí ì lè bọ́ra wọn ká tó sọ pé wọ́n tún wá fẹ́ bọ́ ẹnu míì. So that phase of life that was thrust upon them through their own recklessness is one that they were not prepared for. So at that moment, agídí ló máa dà bolẹ̀. And they will refuse the pregnancy, refuse the child, refuse you, wọ́n á lé ẹ dànù. What they have only succeeded in doing is pushing the problem just further down the line. It hasn't gone away. It hasn't gone away. So, irú wọn bẹ́yẹn, whether you like it or not, wọn nísinmi o. Regardless of, the kind of bold face that you see them put up. There are moments tó yẹ pé àwọn àtẹlẹ́dàá wọn nìkan ló kù tó dẹ̀ ní conversation. Wọn nísinmi. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé àwọn láti lọ ṣe àtúnṣe níbì kan. So some of them will be working hard, will be, pushing themselves so that táwọn bá máa wá, they will be able to, compensate you for all those times táwọn ti sọnù, then àwọn ti wá ready láti lè take up responsibility and all that. So gbogbo time tó fi rí wọn yẹn, they are struggling with their conscience and they are hustling to be able to come back and take up that responsibility. So ṣorí ìgbà tán bá wá step forward yẹn, yes, o ní right láti bínú as a woman pé o abandon mi látọjọ́ ẹ̀, o ṣe gbá kò ṣe kankan mẹ́rin. Yeah, bínú, but má bínú tán. Má bínú tán. Leave the room open. Leave the door open for them to access their child or for them to come back into the life of their child. Tí wọn náà bá fẹ́ gbé wọn condition pé wo iye báyìí mo ti ná lórí ọmọ ẹ̀ láti ìjọba ìkíní kan báyìí, you have to pay me this back before we can start. Tó bá yẹ pé wọn náà fẹ́ go through that route, do it. Do it. But don't deprive the man, the biological father now, and the child that relationship. If you do, you are ruining destinies. You are ruining destinies. Lọ́jọ́ iwájú ọmọ yẹn á béèrè pé òun fẹ́ mọ bàbá òun. bó fi hàn á wá kan á ríra á wá dún ẹ̀ táìmù yẹn pé ládùúgbò nǹkan tí mo ṣe fún ẹ ṣe yẹ kó tún lọ wá mà yẹn igbá kankan ìwọ ọmọ yìí ò mórí ò ṣe kàn náà. The way life works, once there's something missing in you, once there's a hole, once there's a lacuna, you have to fill it. Otherwise, èèyàn ò ní balance láyé. Èèyàn ò ní balance láyé. So, ọmọ nílò both parents to be able to grow up as a balanced and well-built individual. So where there are, situations or opportunities to reconcile them together or to make amends, please don't shut the door. Like I said, bínú, mi ní kó má bínú, kó má bínú tán. Leave room for, reconciliation, leave room for, things to come back to how they were supposed to be. Now let's look at the woman herself. Àṣírí kò sóorun, kò sísinmi, inú ẹ̀rù ló ń gbé. Torí every time lọ́kàn á jẹ́ ẹlẹ́rìí pé nǹkan tó ń ṣe yìí, ètò òfin ló ń confess fún pásítọ̀ yẹn. Àwọn tọ́rọ̀ kàn ni ò bá wá bó ṣe fẹ́ ṣàtúnṣe. Yes, nǹkan á dojúrú, nǹkan á dàrú, but you have to own up wípé o fumble. Àǹbọ̀rọ̀ bá dẹ̀ ṣe ń pẹ́ sí ló ń gbọ́n sí. So n tó yẹ kó o ṣe lénìí má sọ dọ̀la. Some have gone to confide in a friend. O ti gbàgbé wípé ọjọ́ kan ń bọ̀ tíjà máa dé tórin á wá dòwe. Tẹ́ni tó ń bájà yẹn á wá wọ studio á lọ ṣe diss track fún ẹ. Hit tó fẹ́ release yẹn, ìwọ ló fún lyrics yẹn. Pé gbogbo ẹjọ́ tó rò fún, òun náà ló máa fi kọ diss track yẹn fún ẹ. Wàá sọ pé ọ̀rẹ́ mi aláṣìírí, mo fàṣírí pamọ́ sí ẹ lọ́wọ́. Bestie náà máa ń ní bestie. Àwọn èèyàn kan dẹ̀ wà tó jẹ́ pé ọjọ́ tó bá ṣe nǹkan tó dùn wọ́n, wọ́n ṣe máa hurt ẹ padà ni wọ́n máa wà. And when they want to hurt you, some go to the extreme. Àwọn kan tó mọ̀ pé ó lè ba ayé ẹ jẹ́ yẹn gan-an, òun ni wọ́n máa ṣe. Sometimes àwọn tó fàṣírí sí lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ wọ́n á sọra wọn di terror sínú ayé ẹ̀. They start ordering you about. And just because you think they know something about you, something sensitive, a secret, gbogbo tán bá darí ẹ̀ sí, òun náà ló máa ń lọ. You can't say no because wọ́n láṣìírí ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́. For how long do you want to live like this? We are all allowed to make mistakes in life. when you make mistake, don't cover it. Especially when the mistake is one that, you know, can destroy so many lives. Ní tó bá fẹnu ara ẹ sọ wípé àṣìṣe mi rèé o, mistake ni. Ayé á bá ẹ wí, wọ́n á ṣe oríṣiríṣi nǹkan, wọ́n á dáríjì ẹ̀. But sórí tó bò mọ́lẹ̀ tí wọ́n wá bá ẹ uncover, tí wọ́n wá bá ẹ sọ, tí wọ́n bá ẹ sọ on your behalf, ìyẹn ni wọ́n ń pè ní scandal. Èèyàn kì í bọ́ nínú yẹn o. Èèyàn ò ń bọ́ nínú ẹ̀. So gbogbo ohun tó ń bò mọ́lẹ̀ yẹn, kò sí ní tá a bò mọ́lẹ̀ tí à ní ṣí o. Ó máa better for you to make the necessary adjustment now. Some have died with this kind of secret. Some have taken this kind of secret to old age. I think 2 or 3 years ago, I read the story of a young man that came on Instagram Utika. I think he was 26 at that time. The guy was shattered. When he put up that post, he said he doesn't know what he's going to do next with his life. So what happened to him? He lives in America, and he was trying to invite his parents to visit him. So one máa ṣe DNA test and everything like that. So process tán ti lọ ṣe yẹn, in fulfillment of the, you know, visa application, it was there they realized that both are not even his parents. So kì í tẹ̀ ń ṣe ẹyọ kan nísìn. Àwọn méjèèjì wọn ì ṣòbí ẹ̀. He's 26. He was 26 years old then. These are the only people he has known all his life. Wọn ò sọ ìtàn míì fún rí. And that was how he got to know that his story or the life he has been living has not been the truth. Yeah, there are situations where, you know, àwọn tó bí èèyàn kọ́ ló ń tọ̀yàn. But the way they would, you know, break this, you know, news to you, it's not like how this young man got to know. I mean, he just received the letter back from center tán ti lọ ṣe test. They are not your parents. That's shocking. So imagine, you know, you've kept such a secret, and then the child somehow manages to find out. That will cause an irreparable damage to your relationship. Because at that moment, explanation ló fẹ́ máa ṣe. At that moment, ó fẹ́ máa try láti, you know, wá wá wí ni. Oh, take a necessary step. Oh, rìn ọ̀nà yẹn bó ṣe yẹ kó rìn, oh, ṣe bó ṣe yẹ kó ṣe. And lastly, let's look at the child or the children involved. Every child deserves to know their biological parents or the true story of their life. Tó bá jẹ́ pé adoption náà ni wọ́n fi gbà wọ́n ni. Everybody needs to know. It brings clarity to their journey. Ó jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ, kí n boundary wọn. Ó mú clarity wá sí gbogbo àwọn tó yí wọn ká. Ó jẹ́ kán mọ ìhà tólúkálùkù kọ sí wọn. Tí nǹkan bá ṣẹlẹ̀, they understand why it is happening. So it's important that we don't hide anything from these children, because the knowledge of it and the manner in which they come across the truth can alter their life negatively and permanently. So it's important that we open, we have open communication. We must ensure that anything that can, bring up feelings of betrayal, distrust, that can break down relationship, we eliminate the situation. Now, to put that it exists, we try to, do everything we can to mitigate the potential damage it can bring, because sometimes the damage can be irreversible. Bringing up a child, it's important that the foundation is built solid and strong. And one of the ways you can do that is for there to be openness, and for there to be strong bond. Oh, this is not your dad, but this is the person that has taken you up as dad. Your dad and I had some issues at the start, but we're still working on, trying to resolve it. At the appropriate time, I will introduce you to him. Bó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ wípé ìwọ àti bàbá ọmọ tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí ẹ̀ tí sọ̀rọ̀ for donkey years. What you have done is you have helped open or leave that door open fún àjọṣepọ̀ wọn kó sì wáyé lọ́jọ́ iwájú. But not many women are doing that. Wọ́n máa pòkọ̀ ìbànújẹ́ fún àwọn ọmọ yẹn ni. Wọ́n á describe dádì wọn tó jẹ́ pé ọjọ́ tí àwọn yẹn bá rí ẹni tó jọ dádì wọn gan, tí kìí ṣe dádì wọn o, tọkàn rẹ̀ tó jọ dádì wọn rárá, wọ́n á ti ìdàbọ̀ láti iwájú báyìí, wọ́n á fàyọ lẹ́yìn. No, don't do that. Again, bínú, ṣùgbọ́n bínú ṣẹ́kù. You must do everything within your power láti fi àyè reconciliation lẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ iwájú fún àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀. Àìjẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀, ó ti bayé wọn jẹ́ láyé àti wọn lè balance. Fact mo ń sọ fún ẹ. Because ààyè yẹn kò sẹ́ni tó lè feel ẹ̀. Now àtẹ̀wárí situation mi tó jẹ́ pé tó jẹ́ kó drag ni wípé the man is insisting mi ní mi gbọ́mọ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ o, ṣùgbọ́n mo ní láti mọ̀ pé mi mo lọ́mọ ẹ̀ kí n tó gbà. Ìwọ náà yarí pé no, tó bá ti lè trust mi kó gba ọmọ yẹn, then ọ̀rọ̀ yóò lè yanjú. Madam ẹ má ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, ayé ọmọ yẹn lẹ ń bàjẹ́. Ẹ méjèèjì ti bá yé yín débì kan, ọjọ́ ọ̀la ọmọ yẹn lẹ fẹ́ fi ṣòfò yẹn. Madam mo bẹ̀ yín, if you have nothing to hide, submit yourself for this DNA test. It is not for the man, it is for the child. Ọmọ yẹn deserve láti mọ bàbá ẹ̀. Ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọ ni láti mọ ẹni tó ṣàtọ́nà ẹ̀ wá. No matter how horrible the story might be, ẹ ṣàlàyé ẹ̀, ó máa understand. Kò ní torí ẹ̀ kọ̀yìn sí yín. Tó bá dẹ̀ torí ẹ̀ bínú táìmù yẹn náà tó ṣe nǹkan kan bẹ́yẹn, ọkàn yín ti mọ̀, ẹ ti ṣe tó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí òbí. And you have to understand, yes, everything we do comes with consequences. So ìrìn tẹ́rìn nìyẹn, nǹkan tó dẹ̀ tibẹ̀ jáde rẹ̀, you live with it. Kẹ́ wá máa kẹ́ nǹkan, kẹ́ máa fi irọ́ bo irọ́ mọ́lẹ̀. You can only do that for a while. Everything will crumble in the end, and the damage will be irreparable. So if you are here listening to me tonight, or you listen later, gbogbo ibi tẹ́ ẹ dì sí, gbogbo ibi tẹ́ ẹ bò mọ́lẹ̀ sí, ẹ lọ tú jáde o. Make amends. The man you've shut out, torí ẹ bínú, torí ó kọ̀ yín táìmù yẹn, torí ó kọ̀ yín, ó kọ̀ ọmọ yín gbà yẹn. Yes, madam, you have right láti bínú, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ ro tọmọ yẹn, kẹ́ ẹ bínú ṣẹ́kù. If the man has been making effort to come back, please have a rethink and let him back into the life of the child. It is not for the man, it is for the child. Ẹ gbójú yín kúrò nínú ìwà tọkùnrin yẹn hù. Wèrè ni, olórí ibú ni, àmọ́ ó dùn yín nǹkan tó ṣe, yes. Ṣó justify ìwà tẹ́ hù yẹn? In fact, ó justify ẹ̀, ó tún jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. In fact, tó bá yẹ pé if there is any other thing you can do, yes, ó justify ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀bẹ gé ọmọ lọ́wọ́, àsọ̀bẹ nù. Ọ̀bẹ ti ṣe tó máa ṣe. Bá a ṣe máa tètè bandage ọwọ́ ọmọ yẹn tí kòkòrò ò ní wọ̀ ọ́, débi pé egbò yẹn á bàjẹ́, àdínkàn fẹ́ amputate ẹ̀, ìyẹn ni ká tètè sáré ẹ̀. Kò sọ máa lé níbì kankan o. Gbogbo ọmọ ló ní bàbá. Àwa èèyàn là ń gbójú fáìná. Àwa èèyàn burúkú yìí là ń dalé ayé rú o. Ẹ wà nú oyún, oyún Mr. Láyé Ṣúkúdì dẹ̀ tún ń gùn yín Ṣúkúdì ó tún ń gùn yín ẹ jẹ́ á máa ro àwọn kinní ìgbà mi o. Everything we want to do, let's think it forward. Ìgbésẹ̀ tí mò ń gbé yìí kí ló máa bí lọ́la. Try to paint a scenario of the outcome of the choice or the decision you are making. If the outcome is not, what you would love to witness or to live or to experience, ìyẹn sọ fún ẹ wípé má gbé ìgbésẹ̀ yẹn nìyẹn. Kò sẹ́ni tọ́lọ́run kì í bá sọ̀rọ̀ o. Ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nínú wa ló máa ń pa ohùn Ọlọ́run. Conscience wa ohùn Ọlọ́run ni. Is your first judge. Is the first that will convict you of anything. Ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọ́n ti pa ohùn yẹn. Shut it out. Kò fọ́hùn mọ́. Ntẹ́ ẹ̀dẹ̀ gbàgbé ni wípé you must do everything possible to keep the light inside of you burning. Because lọ́jọ́ tí ò ní sí iná ní ìta tí òkùnkùn máa yí yín ká, you only rely on the guiding light that you have inside of you. Tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ ti pa inú òkùnkùn lẹ máa rìn. So if your heart is convincing you tonight, maybe this is the word you need to retrace your steps, to tell the truth. Ó kàn sùn ojú ó dẹ̀ ń wo máa yẹn ó dẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé a fi last kọ́bọ̀ ẹ̀ lẹ̀ fọmọ yẹn ó dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé òun kọ́ ló lọ́mọ. Madam, kò dáa. Kò dáa. Mi ò mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ṣe o. But you have to do something. And for those men who have doubts or who want, some sort of conviction. Ṣùgbọ́n àtẹ̀wò báyìí pé tí n bá dẹ̀ lọ bèrè báyìí ṣé wọ́n ní máa sọ pé mò ń accuse ṣé wọ́n á. You heard it tonight. You're not doing anything wrong if you make such a request. But you have to ensure that you go about it the right way so that it does not come off as offensive. Let's not create a stigma around DNA. It's a good science. It's a good advancement. It's one of those things that has been invented to help us. Let us embrace it. Bá ní wá ṣe DNA test mo sọ wípé òun ṣe nàbì àbó òun ṣe ṣìnà. So má gbé parí. Má ní wọ́n fi kinní kan lọ ẹ́. Calm down. Tó bá ti ní kankan láti hide. Iyì gan ló jẹ́ fún ẹ. Nípò wọlé o jáde o kó gbogbo nǹkan tán ní o kó lẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ jáde wọ́n sọ pé ọmọ ẹ̀ ni. Iyì ni. ó ṣòun pé o dúró tán, and your family will be stronger for it. Tọrọ ọmọ mọ̀ pé yes, mọ́mí òun ni, daddy òun ni, ọkọ náà mọ̀ pé àwọn ọmọ òun ni, á dẹ̀ tún ní more trust nínú ẹ̀ wípé no, ẹni yìí ẹni tó ti fọkàn tán ni. So your family will benefit in the long run from it. Ọ̀gá bí mo ṣe ń gbọ́, wọ́n ní Nàìjíríà is buyer number 2 or number 3. Ó ṣáà wà ní first 5 ṣá in the world, top 5 in the world, tó ní highest rate of paternity fraud. Nigeria. And that is why we don't like the sound of this word DNA. A máa bínú tán ni, a máa dá wàhálà lẹ̀ o. Wàhálà wo ló fẹ́ dálẹ̀? Wàhálà wo ni wọ́n fẹ́ dálẹ̀? Kì í ṣe wàhálà ni wọ́n ń dálẹ̀. DNA wá láti ṣàtúnṣe ni. Iṣẹ́ àtúnṣe na create ẹ̀ fún. Just like báwọn ọmọ ṣe máa ń kún gbà yẹn tán máa ní àwọn ẹ̀mí kan ló pa wọ́n àbí kún kíní kankan mẹ́rin. When they started doing, blood tests and all these things, ó jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé nǹkan tó ń fà á rèé o. Incest, tó bá ti ń bá àwọn sùn nínú ilé kan, kò sí ni ẹ máa bí àwọn tó wà deformed because of genetic mutations. So, for all these benefits I've mentioned, most especially the kids that are involved, we have to ensure that we do everything that is necessary to set the record straight. Ẹ má jẹ́ kán kú tán, kán tó wá discover, kán wá máa tọ̀ sórí sàárè yín. Ẹ má jẹ́ kó dìgbà tẹ́ darúgbó tán tẹ́ rò pé these children will be there for me, mo ti fi gbogbo ọjọ́ ayé mi sìn wọ́n. Irú àṣírí yẹn wá bọ́ sí wọn lọ́wọ́ tán wá kọ̀yìn sí yín. So, this is all I have for you tonight, my friend. But I see that there's certain comment in the comment section. Let me see. My brother says, Mano Makande says, breaking down the stigma, why requesting a DNA test should be normalized and make it a responsibility that every party involved should be educated enough to understand why it should not bring emotional attachment if at any point any relationship might requires that at any point. Yes, so we should, make this. Personally, I support that this should even be done from tó bá ti bímọ tán. Kó má jẹ́ kí ó máa di nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé ọkùnrin ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ request ẹ̀ wọ́n ń dìjà wọ́n ṣe bákan. Tó bá ti bímọ tán, one of the tests ọmọ ńlá ti ṣe nìyẹn to determine paternity. Nílùú yìí, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ ni kì í ṣe bàbá ẹ̀. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ bàbá kọ́ ló lọ́mọ lórí certificate. Nílùú yìí, lára dán tí wọ́n máa ń ró láàrin àwọn ìlú wa, wọ́n bá bímọ tán tó jẹ́ pé wọn ò níwèé. Nígbà tán bá ń ṣe registration of birth, wọ́n wá fi orúkọ ọkùnrin tó ní pálí pupa, wọ́n wá fi sórí kìíní yẹn pò ní, wọ́n fi sí orúkọ ẹ̀ síbi ààyè orúkọ bàbá ń pò ń lò ní ọmọ. Fún ìdí èyí, ọmọ yẹn á lè níwèé láti ìgbà tán ti bí torí òfin ìlú yìí ni pé bó o bímọ síbí bí ẹ̀yin òbí ò níwèé ọmọ náà ò níwèé. Kò dàbí Amẹ́ríkà jẹ́ pé tẹ bá ti bímọ síbẹ̀ ọmọ ti gbàwé. Ó dà pé bóyá wọ́n ní Trump náà ti change ìyẹn so I don't know. But òfin bí ni wípé báwọn òbí ò bá níwèé ọmọ náà ò níwèé. So láti bypass kinní yẹn lọ́ ṣe máa ń dárú ọgbọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. N tí wọn ò wá mọ̀ ni wípé kinní yẹn ò ṣeé pààrọ̀. Ẹ̀ ń wá solution but in the process ẹ̀ ń create a lasting problem. Tá a bá ń wá ìrànlọ́wọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká máa wá ìrànlọ́wọ́ tí ò tún ní dá wa padà sípò tá a tún ti nílò ìrànlọ́wọ́. If we are looking for solution, let's not further create problems while looking for solution. So tán bá ti ṣe yẹn nísìn ọmọ á níwèé through ẹ̀ ìyá náà wá níwèé. Guess what? Bàbá tó lọ́mọ gan kò sí ọ̀nà kankan tí kinní yẹn gbà wúlò fún. And lábẹ́ òfin pẹ̀lú birth certificate yẹn òun gan kọ́ ló lọ́mọ. So unless that situation tí mo ti gbọ́ unless tó bá jẹ́ pé obìnrin yẹn ṣe without the knowledge of ọkọ ó jẹ́ kàyéfì fún mi wípé ojú á pọ́n ojú ìwé á pọ́n wọn tó bẹ́yẹn jẹ́ pé ọkùnrin tó bímọ gangan á dẹ̀ wá allow kí wọ́n kọ orúkọ ẹlòmíì sí ààyè ibi tí orúkọ tiẹ̀ wà gẹ́gẹ́ bí bàbá ọmọ. I don't get it. I do not get it. But people do it. In tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ni mò ń sọ fún yín yẹn. People just think ẹ ṣáàjà yanjú eléyìí náà máa wá bóyá máa ṣe later. Tọmọ ẹ bá wá kátẹ lọmọ ẹ kàn lọ blow ó kàn lọ di kinní kan wá fẹ́ step up ẹni tórúkọ ẹ wà ń bá kí lè jáde kó lòun ló ń lọmọ náà. Ẹni tán dẹ̀ máa recognize lábẹ́ òfin nìyẹn. Òkè tẹ bá sọ pé irọ́ o kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o àwọn á ní kí ló ṣe ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà kankan mẹ́rin ṣe mọ̀ pé gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ bò mọ́lẹ̀ lẹ́ ń tú. Ìlú ìdẹ́rẹ̀ yíyan 20 ọdún wọn máa ń gbóná ni. Kò bá yẹ pé 30 years ló ti gbàwé wọn tán bá rí pé irọ́ ló fi pilẹ̀ wọ́n á gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. So wọ́n sì lè gbàwé yẹn lọ́wọ́ yín tó bá di pé wá lọ sọ pé nígbà tá a bímọ nǹkan báyìí la ṣe sódà máa fi lè gbàwé kinní kan wá ṣe nǹkan wọ́n á gbàwé yẹn lọ́wọ́ yín. Gbogbo tẹ́ ẹ ti ṣe tẹ́ ẹ rò pé ẹ ti jẹ lọ ẹ padà sí square one. Okay pátápátá wọ́n wá ń kẹ́ lọ ṣe DNA eventually wọ́n wá recognize ẹ̀ pé wọ́n lò ní ọmọ. Ṣùgbọ́n ti padà sí square one padà ó ti wá dọmọ ẹ padà ìwé tẹ́ torí ẹ̀ ṣe ẹ̀ tún wá níwèé yẹn mọ́. Ìrìn àjò yín wá gùn sí. Tó bá yẹ pé ẹ̀dẹ̀ rà ń rìn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń rìn ni ó ní iye ọdún tọmọ yẹn máa pé nílùú yìí tẹ́ ẹ lè lò láti fi tòwé. Ṣùgbọ́n àìní sùúrù ó máa mú yàn ṣe gbogbo àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tí ò yẹ kó gbé. And in doing that, you create further problems. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ro gbogbo nǹkan tá a bá ń ṣe o. My brother also said, I agree that I can build trust in relationship. Some questions around trust for me in that direction are, as an individual, have you found yourself? Meaning, have you done the work and continue to do the work of becoming a comprehensive human being where whatever situation you find yourself in, would you be able to have the emotional intelligence and incident response capability to handle such every breach of confidence and trust? Secondly, are you aware of your partner's state of mind? State of mind, state of mind. Yes, so in all of this, I know I've watched some reality shows where you know the news or the result of DNA test was broken to the father and the child. And trust me, um, no one can prepare you for such a bad news. It is a bad news, especially where the child has become an adult, especially where you have poured everything you have into raising that child. Nothing, I repeat, nothing can prepare you for such a news. Òun mo ṣe sọ wípé nílé ayé, always leave an allowance for eventualities. Èmi, ayé tí mò ń gbé, mo believe pé anything can happen. So mo ti fi ààyè ẹ̀ lẹ̀. So that when things like that happen, yes, it will hit me, but the impact won't damage me. I can still, pick up myself and move on. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tí ò nírú allowance yẹn, àwọn tí ò tiẹ̀ rò ó pé nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ lè happen, tán create any sort of cushion for themselves to cushion that such an impact, àwọn ni wọn lè dìde mọ́ láyé. So when things happen around us, wọ́n ní atẹ́gùn tó wọ yàrá tó káṣọ nínú cupboard, ẹni tó wọ tiẹ̀ sọ́rùn kò ṣọ́ra ni o. So when things happen around us, it should be, a reminder that, this can be you. And in that situation, what do you do? How do you prepare yourself? How do you handle this? So you just have to build yourself up. And discussions like this, also help for you to understand that yes, things like this are real and they are happening. Inú ẹ̀dá jìn, inú ẹ̀dá ò bá jà bí igbá ni ṣe bá bá ṣìwò. Inú ẹ̀ ló mọ̀ ò mọ inú ẹlòmíì. So you must keep an open mind that anything can happen in life. And when things like this happen, you must find a way to find a closure and move on. One of it is that take consolation in the fact that yes, you have nurtured a life. Yes, the universe has a way of paying you back for that, for your service, especially to jẹ́ pé you were diligent in that role. No, kò ní gbé, kò ní gbé, kò ní gbé, kò ní gbé. Right, another question. To what extent does requesting a DNA test reflect a lack of trust in the relationship between the parents? Is it a healthy way to address doubt or sign of deeper issues that should be resolved differently? Consider that two different personalities are involved when such a sensitive matter is on the front burner. Wàláì máa yìí yẹ kó máa ṣiṣẹ́ fún àwọn WAEC àbí JAMB. Set the question down. Right. I mentioned it earlier that when the request is not well presented, when the request is not balanced in its proposition, it can suggest that you are accusing your partner of infidelity. it can insinuate that you do not trust your partner. So, but when you go about it the right way, in the ways I suggested earlier, then it will allay, any fears of lack of trust. When in making this request, you highlight how it can benefit your family as a whole, your relationship as a unit, then it will take the focus away from, you know, the negativity of, you don't trust me, this and that, accusations here and there. That will be out of the window. Now, I am a firm believer of addressing issues based on how they appear. In fact, mi like ká máa sápamọ́ sẹ́yìn ọ̀rọ̀ kan sọ̀rọ̀ kan. So, if you have deeper issues with your partner relating to, trust, you have to come clean. You have to present your evidences. Tó o bá tí ì lẹ́rìí, then farabalẹ̀ kó o wá ẹ̀rí. And then deal with issues based on what they are. Kì í ṣe pé kẹ́ ẹ sábẹ́ nǹkan kan máa fi yanjú nǹkan kan. Ó máa ń da ojú ọ̀rọ̀ rú ni. So, I also mentioned it earlier that tó bá ti rí àwọn nǹkan kan àbò gbọ́ àwọn nǹkan kan àbáwọn nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀, it can instigate, doubt in you. You know what? I think I need to check all these things. Ṣèbẹ́ lòmíì, tèbí ẹ̀jẹ̀ last born wọ́n sọ pé kò match. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ last born náà ní ò match ọmọ mẹ́rin. Last born ló sick tí wọ́n ní kí wọ́n wá fẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ̀ tẹ́jẹ̀ ò match. That alone prompted the man to say, you know what? Gbogbo àwọn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yòókù, mo fẹ́ test wọn náà. And they discovered that it was only the third one nìkan lọmọ tiẹ̀ nínú mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin. Nínú mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin, ọmọ kẹta nìkan lọmọ ẹ̀. So irú yẹn ń sìn, nǹkan kan ló ṣe sábàbí that pushed that out. That man didn't just step out to say, I want to do a DNA. Sábàbí kan ló ṣẹlẹ̀, which, obviously pushed him to, no, I'm láti check gbogbo nǹkan yòókù kí n tiẹ̀ mọ ibi tí mo wà gan. So, let's deal with issues as they appear. Relationship requires openness, transparency. Both parties must be able to sit down and have hard conversation, hard talk. Hard talk. And then láti lè gbọ́ra yín. A conversation is when you say something and the other person understands, not just hear. Listening yàtọ̀ sí hearing. Hearing is just o kàn gbọ́ sound. Listening ó ń wọlé sí ẹ nínú ọkàn, ó dẹ̀ ń yé ẹ. So, you must be able to listen when you're having healthy conversations. Right. Sir Cage, I greet you, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, my my brother, Morenike Ajala. He's, I think, is this the first and second time he'll be contributing on the show? So I know maybe he's one of the silent listeners, but tonight he's here with us in flesh. Thank you for joining me, bro. So he said, well said. Interestingly, there are no illegitimate children, only illegitimate parents. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, kò sọ́mọ àlè o, kò sọ́mọ tó jábọ́, gbogbo ọmọ ló ní bàbá. Obìnrin dẹ̀ mẹ́ni tó lọ́mọ. Ìgbàgbọ́ làwa ọkùnrin fi ń gbà, kò jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. My brother said there is a Peter Tosh music, pick myself up to encourage everyone going to situations that are difficult to discuss with anyone. It might not be a paternity test. It could be any challenges of life. Remember, in high tide or in low tide, hold firm your boat with birth at your shore. Benny, just flow, right? Just flow. Storms sometimes are not negative. They are sent. They are the disruptive force sent to, steer the boat of our life in the direction that we should be going. Tòrótọ̀ níbi tá a kọrí sí. Ọ̀tọ̀ níbi tá a kọrí sí tá à ń wa ọkọ̀ lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n a máa ń rìn ìjì. Turbulence. Storm. That will rock our boat and change its direction to where we should be going. If we allow it, if we don't struggle with it, we will birth at the shores that we should be going. While you're going through those situations, listen to gratitude from Jazz Ellie to help you navigate through the murky road that might be going on. Trod on, you will become better. Sailor. Thank you, brother, for your words of encouragement. It's tough, especially when we realize that we've done, nǹkan tó àròpó lé ọjọ́ dẹ̀ ti gorí ẹ̀ ó ti pẹ́ gan-an. So àbá nǹkan mọ̀, no going back, kò sọ́nà àtúnṣe mọ́, kò sígbà kan, kò sáwò kan mọ́. There's always a way. Kò dẹ̀ sí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ láyé yìí tí ò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí. Ẹ̀yin kọ́ ló máa ń kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. Ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ kọ́ ló máa jẹ́ last. So all you need to do is to find a way to salvage the situation. Don't further complicate it. Try to save what is what is left. And fún ẹ̀yin tẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ tí ìwọ́nú situation yìí, this is an advice to all of you. Put this into consideration. Let this be, part of your discussion from the onset. And let there be clarity on why you're asking for these, options. It is to build, a stronger union. It is to, remove every form of doubt and, and create, a strong focus for all of you within that family unit. So, yes, I think there are no more questions, no more contributions. And I hope you have something to take with you tonight. Requesting for a DNA is not wrong. but it can come up as offensive if we don't present it or back it up with the right reasons. And the key, issue that always come up is that, there's no trust. No, that is not all that DNA is all about. It's a good science that we all should adopt. And for anyone who has doubt, that is thinking of taking such a step, please go ahead. You are within your right. You're within, the legal right. You're within the moral right to do that. Right. Let me leave you tonight, and we meet again next week Friday for another discussion. Thank you very much for staying with me for the past 2 hours. Apologies for taking too much of your time, but I think we have been able to, in our own little way, remove the stigma that is attached to DNA discussion, especially within our community. Maybe Lord and Woyibo, this is not an issue. So the audience I'm directing this at is our community. Àwa ni ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni ó wà fún, not for àwọn òyìnbó. Òye ti yé àwọn yẹn. Òyìnbó dẹ̀ máa ṣe nǹkan tó bá fi ìpó right fún wọn láti ṣe. Àwa la máa ń lo religion, a máa ń lo culture, àwa la máa ń wá gbogbo ọ̀nà ṣá láti sá pamọ́. So Ọlọ́run á ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Thank you very much. Thank you, my brother, for your word of encouragement. It's always a blessing having you in my corner. Because sometimes all we need is just that word to say, you know what, you're doing well. Torí bá mi ò máa ń dàbí pé báyọ̀ kan waste time rẹ̀. Orí tí ò lọ́pẹ́ ni. But when sometimes you hear, those words of encouragement, it helps to, it's like a fuel. It energizes you to, keep doing what you're doing. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful night. God bless you. Udaro.
Ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ tíbi tí ẹ ládàlẹ̀ ayé kò má ṣẹ̀dá tó mọ̀ ọ́la. Ó jẹ́ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o, ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́. Inú ẹni ṣálámọ̀, a ò mẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ni. Ká ṣe bí ẹni kú, káwọ́ ẹni tí ó ṣe dàrú ẹni. Ṣàṣà ènìyàn nífẹ̀ẹ́ ní lẹ́yìn, tẹrú tọmọ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ní lójú ẹni. Ọmọ aráyé abániwọ́rọ̀ bá orí dání wọ́n. Ayé ò fẹ́ ní ìfọ̀rọ̀, orí ẹni ní pé kó yẹ ni. You gotta be strong cause the world is a battlefield. Òjò láyé ó gbé ní lọ, bá ò bá mọ̀ wẹ̀. Má ṣe làlà òtọ́ láì bá dé. Tread softly, dákun ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Ilé ayé ogun ni ó gbọ̀gbọ́n. Ẹ̀sọ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ láyé gbà rẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká má ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Tíbi tí ẹ ládàlẹ̀ ayé, kò má ṣẹ̀dá tó mọ̀ ọ́la. Ó jẹ́ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o, ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́. tó fẹ́ ni. Ṣẹ̀rántí a ò mẹ́rin ìjọba ẹ̀wẹ̀kú ẹ̀wẹ̀lẹ̀. Àwọn lọ́tẹ̀ ni wọ́n dìde wọn lájànà kó lè rínú gbọ́gbé. Àṣenìtàn bá ní ìdàrú ṣálọ̀ máa ráyé. Àwọ̀ fẹ́lẹ́ bòónù kò jẹ́ àríkùn wá ṣe bí. You gotta be wise to survive and keep your sanity. Ọjà ọ̀dájú ní ilé ayé, o ní láti mọ̀ ọ́n rà. Àyàgbé ọ̀gẹ̀gẹ̀ tó bá ti lówó, ọ̀yàn òun ló wà lọ́jọ́ ogúndé. Ọwọ́ epo láyé ńlá, wọ́n kì í lọ tẹ̀jẹ̀. Alámọ̀ a ò mọ̀nú, ẹni ayé yẹ kó rọra ṣe. Ṣọ́ra, ṣọ́ra. Ẹ̀sọ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ láyé gba ọ̀rẹ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ o. Tíbi tirẹ̀ ládàlé ayé, kò máa ṣẹ̀dá tó mọ̀ ọ́la. Mo jẹ́ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o. Ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́ o. Inú ẹni ṣàlámọ̀, a ò mẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ni. Ẹ̀sọ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ láyé gba ọ̀rẹ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Tíbi tirẹ̀ ládàlé ayé, kò máa ṣẹ̀dá tó mọ̀ ọ́la. Ilẹ̀kùn bá jẹ́ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o. Ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́, inú ẹni ṣàlámọ̀, a ò mẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ni. Ẹ̀sọ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ láyé gba ọ̀rẹ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi ṣòwò tí a lábẹ́lẹ̀ ayé, àgbà tó ti ṣe tó mọ̀ ọ́la yòókù lọ́gbọ́n. Ó jẹ́ ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi o. Ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́, inú ẹni ṣàlámọ̀, a ò mẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ni. Ẹ̀sọ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ láyé gba ọ̀rẹ́.